Right, well, there you go. Back on the river. G'day, Richard Musgrave-Evans here again, and welcome back. Fantastic light. So excited to be here. Absolutely beautiful. I have missed the river. Haven't been here for a few weeks. Love the place. Cannot get me away. Anyway, so I've warmed up on a beautiful little atmospheric morning painting. It's freezing conditions. There's a light frost. Absolutely beautiful stuff. Now, I'm pretty happy with what's going on here. I just tried to capture the moment, as you know, just the light and the atmosphere, oil paint and all the other gear. Feel like I've done that, so now I think it's time to go back and have a nice cup of tea and a bit of breakfast. All right. All right, just took that one on there. Whew. It's nice to get warm now. I tell you what, my hands were freezing before with that mist running through. Like I said, there's a bit of a light frost. That light frost and just that gentle mist holding onto the palette knives. Frostbite. But it's fantastic. Now, I've camped in this spot before, and I've actually done a YouTube painting of this spot. And the gum trees I was painting were well and truly high and dry, and now they're totally submerged under the water. So there's been quite a rise in the water level, which is great. So my original camp, where I was camped, is probably, well, I don't know, this far underwater now. So I'm up a lot further off the bank, obviously. But yeah, I've chosen perfect weather for it again. It's just late winter, almost springtime now, so there's been a lot of, rain and whatever, but I've managed to find some beautiful clear days for these paintings, so it should be good. Excuse me. Not only is there perfectly clear skies, but there's not really much wind, just that gentle moving breeze, so perfect for what I'm after. There's that billy starting to make a bit of noise, better get that tea ready. A little bit of tea. A little bit more tea, nice strong brew. Okay, let's get this billy off. Hang on, get the cup straight. All right. Look at that. This is what it's all about. Plein air painting and cups of tea flowing. Okay. Just a dab of almond milk. And happy days. That is fantastic stuff. Perfect, in a perfect location. All right, well here we are, all set up now. I've got the trailer protected, the sun's behind. We've got the flooded creek. As I said before, I've painted these gum trees before, but they're well and truly high and dry on the banks. Now, they're well and truly in the floodwater, which is a great subject. So, what I'm going to do is, of course, paint on my usual stuff, which is a stretch canvas. Sometimes Belgian linen, but in this case we're going to canvas. Buckets of oil paint, of course, and trusty palette knives. Now I'm pretty excited about this subject because what I'm going to emphasise on this one is, of course, the beautiful tranquil water, and then contrasting dramatically those rugged trunk of the gum tree, the Australian gum tree. So I feel like that should be a pretty exciting subject. Now I've got a lovely day for it. I've warmed up a bit with that morning painting, and I feel like now I'm ready to get stuck into the big works. All right, let's go for the biggest difference between having nothing and that subject. Okay. Okay, all right, I reckon I'll just get some of these as darks in. I've established a few darks with a bit of burnt sienna. Hang on, I need a bit more paint. I'll get that in a minute. Let's just go a bit of burnt sienna, alizarin crimson. That'll make a nice dark with some ultramarine blue, which is the opposite of the colour wheel compared to the burnt siennas. That'll get you a good dark. Just here, there's some really good darks. I'll put them in. Establish a few darks on the water. More blue with that burnt sienna to really darken it off there. What fun is this, eh? Painting on location doesn't get much better, as you know. Does not get much better. So let's just block those darks. Now, I am going to go have to get some more colour. I've left a few off the palette. Bit more magenta, a little bit of viridian green. Alright, now I've got the tins, but I've also got a few tubes, so I'll use some of these today. Put them back in the kitty. Alright, so we want to go back a bit now, so let's go for some magenta, viridian green. What do we got here? A bit of white with that to lighten it. Magenta, viridian green and white. A bit more magenta, a bit white. Just want to lighten the tonal value. A bit of blue. Trying to establish a few of the shadows on the other side back here. They've got a bit more blue so they recede. A few in here and there. There we go. Right, a bit more magenta and viridian green up here. Okay, I might go a bit of yellow ochre. I'm just going to lighten the tone a bit now. Yellow ochre and burnt sienna and viridian green. Just a few leaves chuffing around the place. Right, now. Reflections, okay. Yellow ochre, viridian green, burnt sienna. Bit of white to soften her off a bit. Let's have a look what we got. A bit more burnt sienna and viridian green. I'm trying to mix up a reflective quality of the water. What colour is it today? Let's have a look. A bit more yellow ochre. That's amazing, lovely stuff. Now a bit more burnt sienna and yellow ochre, viridian green. Let's put that in here and here. Plenty to do on a big painting like this, but what a perfect day to be doing it, eh? Burnt sienna, yellow ochre, viridian green. Yellow ochre, a little bit of white, not too much, just mixing up more of that colour. A bit more viridian green. Okay, let's see what we've got. Yep. Just sticking in that beautiful reflection of that tree. Like I said, the concept's going to be about the reflections today, so let's get that in quick smart. This tree. There we go, get all those on. Lovely stuff. All right. Now, I'm noticing there's a few blue shadows chuffing around the water. Hang on. Just had to make sure we're recording. We can't be buzzing around doing all this work and have no one watching. That wouldn't be any fun, would it? All right, let's just go for some ultramarine blue. Bit of white. Ultramarine blue again. Just want to knock in a few of those shadows. Let's have a look. I'll get them in now, this colour, real strong blue. We can change it and alter it a little bit later on, but for now, just put it in like a beautiful block colour. Like so. Oh, what a lovely day. Alright, so we've got that there. A little bit of blue chuffing around this bottom corner. Let's block that in. All nice and neat on the edges. Right. Now, I've got a lot of mess there. The next thing to do is, let's get some of that sky in. So we'll go white, burnt sienna, white. I might go, hang on, I'll just grab another palette knife. Just got a little bit of cobalt blue there too. I'll just put that there. Mix some of that cobalt blue with the burnt sienna. Mix I want it to be keyed down because it's on the horizon. A bit of atmospheric effects going on. Just mix that for a bit and let's just have a look what I've got. Still needs to be a little bit more blue than that, so in goes the cobalt blue. A bit more blue than that. So we keep on just adjusting as we're going. There we go, get that beautiful. What a joy to be back out painting. What a joy. Try not to touch the darks too much just yet, so I don't get too much mud. Yeah, what's going on here? I can be there. So that's quite keyed down, but I'll get a lot cleaner in a minute. Alright, go for some more blue now. White, so it's a cleaner colour. Less of the browns and burnt siennas and more of the blue and white. Still with a little bit of burnt sienna left in it. Plop some of that in. Fill in all these little gaps here and there, trying not to touch, like I said earlier, too many of the darks for now. We can blend that later on when we've got a little bit more done. Alright. Okay, I'll go for some ultramarine now, so it's a bit more red dominant. The cobalt's fairly neutral, but the ultramarine blue has a bit more red in it. And as we're going up higher into the sky, that's what happens. It's a little bit greener down low and a little bit redder up high. Alright, now I might just put that knife down for a minute. I don't know what I'm holding that one for. Bit more ultramarine blue. It's going darker now. Yep, ultramarine blue. Get a beautiful dark colour. Very clean. That's nice. Strong colour. Just keep on colouring in basically until we've got more, until it's closer to what we want. So with my style of painting is you start off, everything's suggested, and gradually, a bit more ultramarine. Maybe throw a little bit of magenta in that as it goes higher so it's got a little bit more red. Start off broadly and gradually reel it in. Okay, so there's a little bit more red again in that. What's going on there? Getting there, getting there. Alright, I'll just stand back and see what's going on here. Okay, now I'm just going to get one of these massive tins out. This one is the beautiful titanium white. Just get that out. I'm going to top up because I didn't quite put enough. A few grains of dirt, that'll add it. Got the character of the location. Alright. Let's wipe that clean first. Wipe that one clean. Okay, let's have a look at this. Titanium white by the bucket load. Fantastic stuff. Okay. Right, well, got the sky going, which is great. Now I'll get some yellow ochre and a bit of that cobalt blue, and of course I've got to get this section done too, don't I, which is the reflective qualities of the water. So we'll just bung a bit of that in. Quick, smart. Over there. Get a bit of that in there. You can see a few reflections there, so that starts to go in there. Burnt sienna yellow ochre, fruity and green yellow ochre. A bit more yellow ochre than that. Burnt sienna. Yellow ochre and burnt sienna. Seems to be the colour today. The sunnier it is, it seems to get more yellow ochre and burnt sienna. The more overcast, seems to back off from that. Now, just get some coverage first, eh? So we'll just put that in here. Move that down out of the way if I can. There we go. Right, so we get that covered like get as much on as possible. Eating up the paint as usual. A bit more green. It's actually a little bit keyed down as I get closer, so I'll throw in some of those muddy colours as we get closer to the foreground here. Then we just put that in. Make the edges nice and neat. Alright. Now I'm going to use a bit of that sky blue and the water here and blend the two together, because you've got partially reflection here. Partially reflection and partially, see there's the sky reflecting, and this is the colour of the water itself, so it's kind of a combination of both, so I'll put both together. Yellow ochre, fruity and green, burnt sienna. Bit of white with the sky blues. A few sky blues in between. Get them in. Just got to lay everything in as we're going. Once we've got it all generally felt in, then we can start refining more. Okay. Alright, I'll just stand back and have a look. Alright, so we're getting the water in, get the sky in. I guess the next biggest difference now is to get some of these trees in and the distant headland. I might just work with the headland first. Bit of burnt sienna, yellow ochre and white. Bit more yellow ochre. Just trying to make a light ochre-y kind of neutral colour for the bank on the other side. Let's just have a look what we got. Not too far off, but it needs a little bit more yellow ochre in it. Like so. And a little bit back here somewhere. Okay, now, bit of magenta with those sky blues. Some of that, just trying to knock up a bit of a grey now. Some of the grey foliage, there's kind of a purpley grey foliage just back here too. Just put that in. Slight breeze coming up now, a bit of red and green with that mix to get a little bit more of the I guess you could say before I was painting some of the dead sticks and whatever out there, and now I'm going for a bit more of the foliage. So it's got just a twang of green. Twang of green. Okay, now. Right. I'll mix up a yellow ochre here with that magenta. And those blues, just trying to get a key back. Now I'm just going to lightly touch here. Colour we got there, yeah, but it needs a bit more of the viridian green and the burnt sienna. Just going to knock up some of the colours of the trees on the far distance there. They're a keyed down type of colour. They're not the full strength. They've got a bit of magentas and a bit of blues. Right, now there's another tree a little bit closer. There's always so much to do. Burnt sienna, so it's a bit of a cleaner colour now. So I'll go for the yellow ochres and burnt sienna, viridian green. Just got another palette there with a bit of yellow ochre over there from the earlier on painting. I just grabbed a bit of it. I'll have to get some more yellow ochre out, I can see that. Okay. Just here, oh geez, what have we got there? Hang on, we'll just take that off. There we go again. A little bit of magenta. Some of these trees are just a little bit closer, so a little bit stronger in colour. Just lightly touching, letting the underpainting show through with those shadows. Alright, that's well and good, got a lot of that in. What about these trees? Let's do a bit of that, eh? Where is my yellow ochre today? The only yellow ochre I've got, which is very easy to get access to, I left my cartridge gun. Haven't got a tin of yellow ochre at the moment, left my cartridge gun, so I'm going to have to use the bottom of the hammer here. There we go. That works. Alright, so what we're going to do is some darks. It's quite a dark tone, isn't it? So we'll use our ultramarine blues. Fairly neutral, fairly dark. Let's just get a dark tone in first and we can lighten it. It's easy to work. It's easier to work putting the darks in first. And then you put the lights on later on. Okay, yellow ochre and burnt sienna. Some of those, they were the cooler shadows. Now I'm going to go for a few of the warmer with the lights reflecting back up. In here I notice it's quite warm tones, so we'll go warmer. It's a bit hard to read there at the moment, but hopefully all shall be revealed there once I get a bit more on the go here. It's really lit up on the underside of this trunk here. So I'm going to use a lot of the yellow ochres and burnt siennas. Bring it down to that sky. Lovely stuff. Just here is yellow ochre also and burnt sienna. Plenty of that there, so stick that in like that. And then she cools off a bit when she gets to that part. So go from all the blues and magentas just here. Bit more blue. And a bit more burnt siennas. Oh, what fun. Okay, it's all starting to happen. Let's stand back and have a look. It's all coming along nicely. Bit of that in there. Right. Just going to pull through a little bit here. It'll remove some of the paint and soften. Pull that reflection down. Lightly pull through, clean knife. Before I get too carried away with that, I'll get stuck back into this. Always something to do. Yellow ochres, whites, yellow ochre. Block them in. Yellow ochre and burnt sienna. Burnt sienna, yellow ochre. Mixing up all the neutral colours and tones. A little bit more magenta in that, I reckon. and a bit sky blue. So I'm mixing a lot of white in these mix, but it's kind of making a light grey tone. So the base of this trunk is kind of more of a grey tone. Where are we? Blue. So I've got a bit more of the blues and the browns, whatever, mixed together to grey all the paint off. Because I've got a simple colour palette, you mix all those colours together and end up going grey. Yes, yes, yes. Now I want it brighter again, so I'm going more white and yellow ochre based. Pull through. Blend, blend, blend. Okay, that's going to be a keynote of white there. It's going to be fairly white there. Let's have a look. Fairly white. There's a lot of knots and who knows what going on here, so a lot of random stuff. Random on this particular tree, which is great. I get that. Gives me the chance to do that half mixed stuff that I love to do. Just echo it a little bit down in here. The reflections are always a slightly weaker version, they're not quite as strong. Remember to leave it dark there. It's quite dark on the edge here. Oops, that's a blue that I didn't want really. Alright. Clean that up. It's all happening. Stand back for a minute. That palette from this morning, I've got a little bit of cad orange there. I'm just going to put that there. And a little bit of cad yellow because I want some slightly stronger colours. So that's them from this morning's painting. Alright, where are we? What are we doing? Just keep on keeping on. Pull that through. Up to there. Pure white. Just going to get a bit of those cad colours, mix a bit of yellow with the orange. So it's a slightly different version of itself. Half mix it with white. Just want to put a few of those highlights, establish some of them now, some of the keynotes that I want to maintain. Where I really want the painting to pop. Some clean white just here, I reckon. Okay, it's looking good. Get hings there, I should say. What do we got? Alright, now with a clean knife, I'll just do a quick bin run. With a clean knife, just going to get lightly pull through and soften the edges here. But it must be a clean knife every time so it doesn't get muddy. A bit more of the magentas to fade it off a little. Let's have a look. What do we got? Yep. Clean knife, pull through. Bit of blending here, blending all those colours that I put in earlier. Just blending them together. Let's have a look at this water, eh? Just do a little bit of blending there. Clean knife. Just pull through, a little bit of wiggles, a little bit of wobbles to get that feeling of the softness of a reflection. Just keep blending here. Absolutely beautiful day for it. Beautiful day for it. Wipe it clean. Take some off. Pull through. Alright, now get a few of those cobalt blues and whites. Just keep on stringing a few shadows through here. Beautiful blue shadows. Okay, it seems to be working. A bit more of that. Flick some in there. Alright, let's just have a look. Okay, just keep working around. Just move this knife over here. Right, so I've got some white, cobalt blue, yellow ochre. A bit more white, a bit more cobalt blue. Just mixing up a bit of water reflection. It's got to go lighter than that. And a little bit more bent sienna down there. Okay, where are we? Getting there. A bit more yellow ochre again. It's all very subtle stuff. More yellow ochre dominant again. Just constantly moving around. Now just get that bigger knife again. Pull through, wiggle a little, softening all that. Alright, get some of those cad colours, just make up a nice, slightly more yellow orange than that one by mixing the yellow with it. Now get some white. Half mix that. Just some nice trees on the other side here. Going to need a lot more white than that, obviously. Just pick out a few of those trees, really fine marks with a knife on edge. Excuse me, knife on edge. Half mixing that. And just put in bits and pieces where I feel like I need it. Heavy one that way. Those birds are having a great time, celebrating life on a beautiful day. Cover that in. So these little squiggly marks and whatever else can really start to give the feeling of refinement. Once you've got a lot of, the bulk in, start putting some refining marks and things will really start to happen. Okay, let's have a look. This is starting to come together. Just pull through to soften a few bits here. Soften, harden. Bringing it all together. This is great fun, I tell you what. I enjoy being out here doing this. If you haven't already guessed. Pulling some soft shadows through there. It's all about getting the edges right now. Actually, it's always about that, but as you're finishing, it becomes more about that. Alright, what are we up to? Another palette knife, go for the slightly smaller one. Alright, things are getting there, I'll start off with a bit of a dark. Alright. Now, don't those birds sound fantastic? Just a bit of a wobble and a bit of a echo going down like so. Alright, things are starting to really happen now, which is great. We just keep on working. Keep on working along. There's getting some nice blue shadows out there. Strike a few shadows here and there. All right. What a beautiful day to be out here playing. Okay, little knife, some nice little highlights. These little highlights are beautiful, they really pull the painting together. Just bits here and there. Might just go for a bit more clean white there. Wipe the knife clean. Get some pure white. Bit of a breeze coming up. Get the occasional breeze, but when you're behind the trailer here, it's all good. The trailer's fantastic for this sort of stuff, like for plein air painting in windy conditions, but don't get me wrong, it's not windy, it's just a bit of a gust going through. Righty. A little bit of reflected light here and there. Yellow ochre, white. Really trying to give some beautiful feeling of light under there. The water's reflecting a lot of light, so it's dancing around under the tree with little patterns. Little bits here and there. It's really a matter of feel now, like obviously the bulk's there, and now as you saw I started off rough and wild, slowly got similar, building up from nothing to starting to build up into a similarity. And once you've done that in the bulk, and then you start reeling in until you get into the little fiddly refined stuff, and That's the phase I'm at now, and you've got to get back a lot to look there because you've got the bulk. You don't want to wreck it. It's very easy to wreck it. Everything you do will make a difference to the end result. So one little mark here and one little mark there will actually add up. So you've got to put a mark in, and then you've got to go back and have a look and see if it's working as a whole and see if it's actually refining or taking away. All right. Alright, in saying all that, I feel like I've pretty much got what I wanted now. Like I said at the start of the painting, the concept was about the fact that these things are now, these beautiful gum trees, instead of being on the bank, they're now in the water. So the concept of this painting is about the beautiful chunky gums with their lovely reflection. And before you start a painting, I believe you should always have an idea, a strong idea about what you want to achieve. And in this particular painting was that. About the contrast of the gums against the softness of the water. Start with the concept, and throughout the painting keep that concept in mind. Alright, and saying all that, why don't we just get that camera off now and have a buzz around and see what you guys think. Okay. Now I'm looking forward to this, that's for sure. Cannot wait. Really happy about the painting. Now it's time to get stuck into some grub. That lunch was absolutely beautiful. Whew, just what I needed. Now, what I'm going to do is have a bit of look around. It's getting to the mid-afternoon. Going to knock out a nice painting, hopefully a nice painting, this evening. So I'll just have a nice cup of tea, relax a bit, look around for a few compositions, and then I'll paint a little colourful one in the evening light. Got some good work done so far, which is always a bonus. Go get some milk. All right, back at camp. Now, that's what's great about making lunch earlier on. I've got plenty for tea as well, so when I come back at the end of the day like this, I don't have to run around trying to get something to eat. So, painting those fleeting moments, you've got to think of ahead and prepare the meal. Now, I might just knock some coals off here, get the fire cranked up again for the cold night. There'll be another frost, no doubt. Let's move that in there. And of course, we'll have another belly. Just get that one out of there so it shouldn't get too hot. Really, let's grab a few twigs. Really pleased with that painting too. Really feel like I captured the moment. All about beautiful atmospheric colours. That fleeting moment it takes, you know, what is it, 10-15 minutes and it's all changed, it's all different. So I rolled in last night right on sunset, right at that time, jumped out of the car, saw that shot, and I thought that is definitely going to be tomorrow evening's painting. So that's all done. And now, cuppa time. Where there's smoke, there's fire. There we go, look at that. Great stuff. Bit of a nip in the air already. There we go, good stuff. Alright, so I've got an idea too for tomorrow morning, so I'll be up bright and early before spoggies and back into it again. Really, really enjoying my stay out here. Couldn't have asked for more with the weather, it's perfect. There's so much bird activity here, unbelievable. So relaxing listening to the sound of all those birds. Just what the doctor ordered. Here we go. We have action. All right, here we are, first light. Let's get this sundown effect. Beautiful morning. The birds are all talking. Alright, well, pretty happy with what's going on there. Got it just in time. Sun's just about to rise and I've got my picture just as I wanted, the pre-dawn. Alright, let's pack up and get back to camp. Alright, well that's about it. Now, thanks for watching, and I hope you enjoyed this slightly different version of giving you the whole experience of being out there rather than just painting the picture itself. I just wanted to give you a feeling of what it's like for me when I'm there by myself, immersed in the landscape, and just the general vibe of what goes on during the whole time of being there. Now if you enjoyed the video, remember to give the thumbs up and spread it to all your mates, and don't forget to subscribe if you haven't done that already. Thanks again for watching. Until next time, I'll see you later.